Hi everyone, I'm Richard Lenan. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the School of Theology and Ministry. I teach systematic theology. One thing I'd encourage all of you to do as you begin your studies and throughout your time at the STM is to develop your own questions that come from your reading and the classes and so on. And then as you pursue answers to those questions, be open to all sorts of learning from your classmates, from your teachers, but especially from the wisdom of the great tradition that you'll study in your courses. The more you read and so on, the more you can develop your answers to those questions that you have. And one final thing, as you develop those answers, what I encourage you to also is to be aware that God is greater than all of our answers. So thank you and welcome.
Greetings. My name is Sister Margaret Geiger. I'm a Franciscan sister and most people call me Mag. I'm the chair of the ecclesiastical faculty and I love to teach courses related to the world church. My one piece of advice, while you're here in New England, enjoy nature. I know that's a Franciscan piece of advice, but the created world really helps us to understand the mysteries that we're trying to encounter in the study of theology. So welcome to the STM. I hope you have a chance to visit the Cape. I hope you have a chance to visit Walden Pond. I hope you have a chance to visit maybe the beaches of New Hampshire. Whatever your pleasure is, I hope that you take advantage of the creation entrusted to our care. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Ernesto Valente and I teach and do research in the area of systematic theology. Before the semester begins, I have two small suggestions for you, two small advices. One, you got this, be yourself, it's gonna be all right. And second, be patient, it can only get better, okay? Take care, hope to see you around and have a great semester. Bye-bye.
Hello and welcome to the School of Theology and Ministry. My name is Dominik Doyle. I teach in systematic theology, and my one bit of advice to you would be to ask lots of questions. Some of the best classes have been made by great questions from students, so never be worried that the question is too basic, because often that's what everyone else is thinking anyway. So I wish you best of luck. I'm on sabbatical this semester, but I look forward to meeting you all next semester. Goodbye.
Welcome to Boston College. Welcome to the STM for this academic year 2020-2021. So my name is Andrea Bouyet. I'm a Jesuit priest from Quebec, Canada. So I teach here systematic theology and spirituality. So this year I'll be giving a class on fundamental theology, an advanced seminar on spirituality studies, and then a class on pneumatology, then a seminar on Saint Teresa of Avila. My advice for you, especially in this time and for this year, is to be gentle with yourself. So be gentle with yourself, with the people around you. Be patient with yourself, be patient with people around you. Be patient and gentle also with the learning process, with the theologians that you will be encountering and reading throughout the semester. That's a good way to move forward with your studies. Welcome.
Hello, my name is John Baldevin. I'm a Jesuit priest and I teach liturgy and sacraments here at BC's School of Theology and Ministry. I'm very happy to add my voice to those of my colleagues in welcoming you, saying how delighted we are that you are with us. Welcome to our school, welcome to our community. I hope at some point to be able to meet you in the flesh. We've been asked to give some suggestion or a piece of advice for you as you begin your time here at the STM. I'll give you one piece of advice. I know you've come for a degree. At least the vast majority of you have come to do a degree, and that's an important thing for your certification, for your professional growth, for your employment in the future. But don't just settle for coming for a degree. Come for an education. Let your mind be expanded. Let your mind be changed. Don't come here just to confirm what you think you already know or what you seem to be convinced of, but let your mind be expanded, especially in conversation with your professors and with others. And then I think you will have a very, very successful and rich time here at the STM. Again, a hearty welcome.
Hello, incoming STM students. I'm Professor Colleen Griffin, and I work at the intersection of theology and spirituality studies. I have research and writing interests in theological anthropology, and in particular within that, theologies of the body, historical and contemporary spirituality, and practical theology. These are challenging times, and the fact that you're joining us at this time speaks volumes about your resilience and also your desire to emerge as a theological and ministerial leader in a church and world that desperately needs such leaders. A piece of advice I would have for folks starting off would be, trust the discernment that's led you to this point. It's to be trusted. And embrace this time as your vocation. It's going to fly. And the life of a graduate student is its own vocation. So don't fret about what comes next. It'll all unfold. And make some good friends while here. There are wonderful people at the STM, and a community is the best place for learning. So find ways to group together, especially this semester, which will be a little different semester, so that you can talk theological ideas and ministerial ideas in community.
Hi, my name is Jos Munoz, Associate Professor of Hispanic Ministry and Religious Education in the Department of Religious Education and Pastoral Ministry, where I also have the pleasure of serving as Department Chair. My research looks at the dialogue between faith and culture and how those conversations shape the way we evangelize, the way we educate in faith, and how we do theological education. As you start a new year at the STM at Boston College, I want to invite you to think of the historical moment in which we are living. This is a unique time in which we as theologians, ministers, and educators are called to accompany, heal, and rebuild. So I want to encourage you to advance your research, to look at your studies from the perspective of those three lenses: accompaniment, healing, rebuilding. You will be participating of a major process of reimagining what it means to be Christian, what it means to be a minister, what it means to be a scholar in the following decades.
Hello, my name is Thomas Groom. I'm a professor of theology and religious education here at the STM, and I've been here many, many years. And I just want to say that you're all very welcome and to thank you for coming, because you really are an inspiration to us. We've been through a very difficult time in our world, in our church, with this pandemic and all the other crises, the pandemic of racism in our country right now that we're become much more keenly aware of, and so on. So a great deal of problematics facing us all. So the fact that you show up and that you join us here, it certainly gives me hope, and it's a hope for the future, that there will be better days and that you are going to be a part of creating those better days because of your studies and your presence and your preparation of yourself here for a life in ministry across the years ahead. So thank you for joining us, and we're delighted to have you.
Welcome to Boston College and the School of Theology and Ministry. My name is Teresa OKeefe, and I teach in the area of youth and young adult faith and religious education. I also oversee contextual education for students in the MA program. This semester, I am teaching my course, The Practice of Ministry with Youth and Young Adults, and it's going to be fully online. So you may consider that if you are working in parish works, secondary school work, or higher education. My bit of advice is related to that. I want you to pay attention to the work sites that you have. Here I am in my own home office. Unfortunately, I have one. But I recommend to you to pay attention to what kind of spaces you have to work in that will allow you to be focused on your work and free from distractions, or as free as possible. All of us have to work with our housemates to work out a schedule, work out a space, and I encourage you to do that so that your semester, which is probably largely done remotely, will allow you to learn the best that you can and take the greatest advantage of your time at BC, even though you may be not at BC. So welcome to BC. I hope you have a tremendous semester, and hopefully someday soon we will all meet face to face.
Hello, my name is Melissa Kelly. I teach in the area of pastoral care and pastoral counseling, and I am also the faculty director of the MDiv program. I do not remember where or when I first heard the piece of wisdom that I'd like to share with you, but it's been very important to me over the years, and it is this: never worry alone. We know, of course, life will present all of us with challenges and worries at different times, and often we manage those best when we turn to one another for support and companionship. But even more so during these very difficult and stressful days in which we're living, it may be that we are going to face very significant worries and fears. And therefore, I want to encourage you, never worry alone. I want to invite you to feel free to share your worries or concerns with people at the STM and at Boston College more broadly. Feel free to share your worries and thoughts with your faculty advisor, with other faculty, with our staff, administrators, and with your student colleagues, those who are a little further down the road and those who are just beginning with you now. We can and we must provide for one another a listening ear, support, and companionship as we travel this challenging road together. So, never worry alone, and I wish you all the best as you begin your studies at the STM. Thank you.
Greetings, students, and welcome to the School of Theology and Ministry. My name is Father Thomas Stegman, a Jesuit from the Midwest Province. I'm the Dean of the school and Professor of New Testament. And because I'm Dean, I'm going to give you two pieces of advice and not just one. The first is advice from actually Pope Francis and his predecessors, Benedict and John Paul and others as well. Best theology is done on one's knees. And I think what that can mean for us is the importance of prayer in this enterprise is, first of all, to keep us grounded and rooted and to remind ourselves of why we're doing what we're doing, and also to get the strength and sustenance we might need. But also in our prayer, we are aware of what's going around us in the world, and to make those connections between our studies and the world around us, so to keep the relevance question at the forefront as well. Theology is defined famously as faith seeking understanding, and faith is first and foremost a relationship. So it's not just a matter of learning things up here, but also learning things in the heart. Second piece of advice is don't consider yourself merely as a solitary learner here. To be sure, you'll have to spend a lot of time by yourself studying, that's necessary. But please consider yourself and be proactive in becoming part of a community of learners, both in a larger scale, but also make friends here, people with whom you can discuss things, with whom you can study. And when I teach the scripture, I tell students more eyes see more things, and we can learn a lot from one another and support one another as well. So please consider yourself part of the community of learners. Some of the friends you make here will be go-to people for you in your future ministries and studies. Welcome to STM. I look forward to seeing you in person. Bye-bye.
Hello, incoming class. My name is Andrew Davis, and I'm a professor of Old Testament here at the School of Theology and Ministry. I actually won't be with you this year because I'm on sabbatical this fall and spring semester, but I did want to take this time to record a video to welcome you to the school and to let you know how happy I am that you're joining us. As for advice, the advice I always give to incoming students is advice that I think is all the more helpful this semester, and that is please ask for help when you need help. I know the temptation is maybe to grin and bear it or to fake it till you make it, but my feeling is that the sooner you ask for help when you need it, the better. And so if you're experiencing difficulty or you're having challenges in the classroom or outside the classroom, please reach out to faculty or some of the staff at the School of Theology and Ministry, and I think you'll find the community at STM will be more than willing to help. Good luck this semester.
Hi, my name is Michael Simoni, and I am a Jesuit priest from the USA Midwest Province. I teach Scripture, primarily Old Testament. My research interest is the construction of divinity in the ancient world. When ancient Israelites used words like God or heavenly being, what did they actually mean? Very often the answer was different from the answer we would give today, and yet our modern theology rests on these biblical foundations that have this radically different sense of God. It's a mode of thinking that requires further investigation. If I could give one bit of advice, it's this: study together. Build a study group and meet regularly. Years ago, Harvard University did a study of their graduate schools to see how their students learned. The results were fascinating. The medical and law students studied in groups almost every night. Laboratory science PhD candidates also studied together almost as often. Grad students in the humanities, by contrast, studied together only rarely, and the divinity students studied together least of all. In one sense, this is understandable. The pursuit of a degree in theology or ministry can be a solitary occupation. Probably none of us are here because we grew up with parents who were theologians. Likewise, few of us are here because all our friends were going into ministry and it seemed like a good idea. In fact, I bet a lot of us faced confusion and opposition as we made the commitment to come here. To study theology or ministry at the graduate level kind of puts us on our own trip. But this also presents a problem. Theology and ministry require intense collaboration both with other scholars and with fellow believers. In sum, to quote Ecclesiastes 4, 9-12, "Two are better than one. They will get a good wage for their toil. If the one falls, the other will help. But woe to the solitary person. If that one should fall, there is no other to help. One alone may be overcome. Two together can resist. And a three-ply cord is not easily broken."
Hello, my name is Chris Matthews. I am the editor of New Testament Abstracts, a journal you may have encountered in your previous education, and research professor of New Testament here at the STM. This will be a challenging term, but we faculty have been through half a term of this already, so we hope that we have learned some things to assist you in your studies as you begin here with us this fall. This fall, I'll be teaching a course on the first epistle to the Corinthians, which will also be helpful for the study of Paul in general and the history of early Christianity at large. All of those topics will be engaged consistently. And in the spring, I'll be offering a seminar for advanced students on the New Testament in current study. Again, welcome, and I look forward to seeing you either in person on campus, which may be rarer than usual, or via Zoom.
Hi, I'm David Jorgensen. I teach in the area of New Testament studies. I'm the assistant editor of New Testament Abstracts, which is a powerful research tool that's produced and published right here at the STM. I'm teaching a course this fall on Jesus of Nazareth. This is a course on the historical Jesus, the historical person who walked the earth 2,000 years ago, what we can know about him, the various methodologies that historians have used to make claims about him, the history of that scholarship, which is known as the quest of the historical Jesus, and perhaps most importantly, how all this can impact Christian faith and ministry. Now, my piece of advice to you is this. In graduate school, you may be facing pressure to become an expert at your chosen path. Understandably, graduate school is a full-time job. So I suggest you give yourself permission to be an amateur at something else. And specifically, I mean cultivate a hobby. Now, my definition of a hobby is a little specific. It's something that engages your creativity and it requires a degree of skill. So you have the opportunity to become very good at it, but you refrain from that and you allow yourself to be merely somewhat good or even a little bad at it. In other words, you allow yourself the permission to be an amateur because this is just for fun. That's my advice. I look forward to meeting you and welcome to the STM.
I'm Father Matt Monik. I'm a Jesuit. I live in the Faber Jesuit community and I teach New Testament. BC is an amazing place and I was an undergrad here myself, and so it's a real joy for me to be back now as a professor and to be able to welcome you. My advice for this year is simply to remember to pray. Pope Francis has said many times that our faith is not so much in a set of doctrines or in moral laws, but in a person, the person of Jesus Christ. The study of theology is about deepening our knowledge and love of God and helping others to do the same. You'll encounter and deepen that relationship with God as much in your prayer as you will in your study. And your life of prayer will make you a better student and theologian who knows and loves the Lord more deeply, and will also give you strength to deal with the stress and pressure that all this study will entail. Look forward to meeting you all.
Hello, and welcome to the School of Theology and Ministry. I'm Mary Jo Ayozio, and I teach fundamental moral theology and Catholic social ethics, primarily here at the STM. I'm just off of a sabbatical year. It was a very good year. I'm excited to be back on campus and excited to be meeting you as well. This semester I'll be teaching the Introduction to Catholic Social Teaching through the lens of moral theology and fundamental moral theology, which is a course that is frequently taken by students in the MDiv program. It's one of the required distribution courses, in fact, but other students are welcome to take it. I focus my research on disability ethics and disability justice. I also do work in racial justice, anti-racism, through an anti-racism lens, and all the social issues that come with the territory and the environment that we find ourselves in the 20th century. And in particular, this upcoming semester, which promises to be exciting, whether on campus or off campus, whether in schoolwork or in anything like political activism. We will all be surprised, and I hope that we will all be satisfied with the outcomes of this first semester back to campus following the experience of the quarantining as a result of COVID-19. In terms of advice, I hope that you will find ways to have fun while you're here, that you get to meet a lot of new people from different places, that you become friends and familiar with things that are not common to your own experience up to this moment in time. So in addition to the studies and all the new things that you'll be learning in the field of theological studies, whether it's in scripture, in practical theology, in moral theology, in the history of Christianity, whatever you focus on, have fun with the material, have fun with the learning, and don't be afraid to approach us, your professors, with questions and interests and hopes for your own study in the field. I look forward to meeting you, however it will be, formally or informally, and safe travels back to Boston, or here to Boston. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello, incoming STM students. My name is Dan Daly. I teach in moral theology here at the STM. I'm excited you're coming aboard. I can't wait to meet all of you at a certain point in your time here at the STM. And I have one bit of advice. One of the most important things you're going to learn how to do as a graduate student is learn how to read closely and critically. How do you do that? Well, you read with a pen in your hand. You read actively and not passively. So throw away those highlighters, use them for other purposes. Read with a pen and take notes in the margins, rewriting the ideas of the author in your own words that you can understand, translating the paragraph into a bit of insight that's usable for you. And I'll show you an example from one of my own texts. This is from Mark Jordan's new book, Teaching Bodies, and you can see I'm making marginal notes on every page, underlining important ideas. I think this will help you. It has helped me. I wish you all the best. Good luck.
Welcome at the STM. My name is Andrea Vicini. I'm a Jesuit, originally from Italy. I'm also a physician and pediatrician. At the STM, I'm an affiliate faculty member, and I teach in the area of moral theology, particularly bioethics. This fall, I will teach a course on theological bioethics from the basics to the future, covering in the first part the traditional topics of bioethics, beginning of life, medical practice, end of life. A second part on global health and the global issues, with the focus on sustainability also and trafficking. And finally, the third part, biotechnologies. I look forward to meet you and work with you. My best wishes.
Welcome to the STM in a time of COVID and social distancing. I'm Francine Cardman. I teach in the history of Christianity in the early church and the early Middle Ages. I'm particularly interested in the leadership of women and the development of early Christian ethics. My advice for you is centered on faith, fortitude, and friendship. Faith because that's why we're here. It's the ground on which we stand. Fortitude because these are difficult times and we need courage. Friendship because ministry is relational and community is essential. And lastly, don't spend all your time here at the STM or at Boston College. Explore the world beyond Brighton and BC.
Hi, I'm Kathy Mooney, and I teach courses in the history of Christianity with a focus on the medieval and pre-modern periods, my areas of expertise. I've always been fascinated by the history of the Church, how it has reshaped itself over the centuries. But I'm even more intrigued by the spiritual leaders and saints who have helped make that Church what it is. If you take a course from me, and I hope some of you do, I'll hope to inspire you through the figures such as Hildegard of Bingen, Ignatius of Loyola, and Dorothy Day. Welcome to all of you to the STM. You've chosen a wonderful place to be. A piece of advice: keep a laser-like focus on a big and noble goal. That has to be bigger than getting A's, than getting a degree, or mastering this or that feature of theology. Keeping that big goal in mind will help you make a better, more just, and more loving world. Isn't that what the big goal for all of us should be? I hope we here at the STM can help you toward that goal.
Hello, and welcome to the STM. We are glad you are here. My name is Franklin Harkins. I am Associate Professor of Historical Theology here at the STM. I work mostly on Thomas Aquinas and other medieval theologians and medieval exegesis as well. My advice to you as you begin your program here at the STM is to take advantage as much as you can of all the wonderful resources here at the STM and try to learn as much as you can in the coming years, even in spite of this challenging time we're in. Try to learn from everyone you meet, your professors, your fellow students, and of course all of the readings and other resources that you have. And look forward to meeting you and seeing you in class. Bye.
Welcome to the Boston College School of Theology and Ministry. My name is Brian Dunkel, and I'm a Jesuit of the East Coast Province, and I teach early Christianity, patristics, the history of Christianity at the STM. I focus on early Christian literature and development of Christology issues related to the Trinity. But this semester I'm teaching philosophy for theological studies and theology and literature, two courses somewhat outside of my specialization, but which relate to the bigger picture issues, foundations that can help us be better theologians. My advice: get to know all the resources at your disposal, among faculty, among staff, but especially at the library. I find when students do research projects, they forget that they can start with the basics. I begin always with an encyclopedia entry about whatever topic I'm doing and know that I'll find there, if it's a good encyclopedia, a great bibliography, all the important issues, and a good start for doing something that helps rather than recreating a lot of work that other people have done. But we're here to help, and books that have been written are here to help you as well. All the best.
Hello, I'm Father Bart Gieger. I teach Jesuit spirituality at the School of Theology and Ministry, and I'm a research scholar at the Institute for Advanced Jesuit Studies. My one piece of advice is this: let go of unrealistic expectations. Almost certainly your prayer life is going to become very dry and difficult during your studies here. And if that happens, don't panic. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It happens to almost all of us, including St. Ignatius, when we start to use our intellects in any kind of intense way. The key, when your studies get dry and a slog and you're wondering why you're doing all this, is to keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the goal. You are doing these studies in order to bring as many of God's people home to Him as possible over the course of your ministry. And if you knew that you could save one person, bring one person home to God because of your studies, would it be worth it to you? All that hard work and all that sacrifice. And if you can say yes to that, then hold on to that. And that's what will get you through.